Welcome to 3-Rail Steve, and today we're looking at a Hornby Dublo Duchess of Atholl model, and if I just show you some of the salient points. So I'm pointing at the top bearing adjuster. As I flip it on its side, you can see the armature that runs through the motor, and you can see that little shiny nut at the top. That's the locking nut. So once you've adjusted the tension on the bearing, if you like, so you want the bearing adjusted so there's a little bit of movement in it, but you can basically put a screwdriver in the top and screw it in or out, and that will give you the correct adjustment. Just looking at it down the side, you can see I've nicely cleaned it up. All the wheels are beautifully shiny, yeah, it's looking pretty good actually. So just pointing out the worm drive at the bottom, which connects to the gear at the back on the bottom of the locomotive. So that's how the power is transmitted through there. So at the back you have a peg which basically links all the everything to the locomotive. So it's like a negative earth. But if you look at the front one, the wire on the front one, then that actually is insulated and goes down to the middle rail shoes, which basically could pick up the electricity for the middle rail from the track. You can also look at the rather lovely Warshort's valve gear that this locomotive has. So I'm just going to move it a little bit so you can see a bit better. Yeah, that's part of the suppressor. Obviously you used to interfere with radios and they had to fit them with suppressors to get around that problem. I'm just going to pop the body back on. So it just needs to locate it at the back. There's like a couple of little lugs which it sort of fits onto, and just slide it in. It's all metal, as you probably are aware, so it's all metal mazac chassis, and the wheels are made of mazac, and so is the body as well, I believe. So yeah, we'll just locate that in there. I need to get the rear pony truck and the tow bar for the tender back on, and these are all connected through one screw. So I'm going to pop that in there a second. So if you're wondering how old this locomotive is, well, the actual design for it was made in 1939 and is based on the real Duchess of Atholl locomotive, which originally would have been made with like a streamlined casing, but that was removed for sort of ease of maintenance, and this is how it looked going into the Second World War. When Hornby originally did the drawings, it only had like a single chimney, but the design was changed and they had to quickly change the design themselves. So by the time that this model hit the shops back after the war in 1947, they've had to make several modifications to it to keep up with the changed design on the real locomotive. And one of the ones they didn't manage to keep up with was the adoption of smoke deflectors. You'll see on the later Duchess of Montrose model they do have smoke deflectors, but this one doesn't. But it does look rather nice like that. I think it's nice to have the two different options really in this model. So the front is secured with a square nut that fits in a recess on the casing. You just about see that there. I don't know if I put the nut in the right way around this time, but I expect I'll change it at some point. Yeah, so that fits in there, and then you've got a screw and a washer that fits through the bottom. So just pop that in there and to tighten that up. So this is the first of the sort of Duchess models that Hornby Dublo made, and this one is presented in L.M.S maroon, quite like the original model on. So just tighten this up with some these little nifty little pliers I've got, and it's all in one piece. So this locomotive's had a pretty given it a pretty thorough overhaul. I've made another video of that, and I've also cleaned up the body shell and the tender, so to try and preserve the originality of it and not damage it too much, I've just washed it in some warm water, soapy water, basically a splash of washing up liquid in it, and just use a soft paintbrush really to actually get the grime off of it. And also I've given it a bit of a polish on the bits that would be shiny, so just a bit of beeswax which you can easily sort of wash off, just some furniture polish really. So yeah, so just to make it a little bit more shiny. I tend to avoid doing that to the smoke box, because in real life the smoke boxes at the front are quite matte in colour, whereas the rest of the locomotive should be a bit shiny. They often polish them, and I think they look, if they got a little bit of a sheen on them. Oh yeah, this is the coupling, which is like different to later Hornby style coupling. These are much more attractive actually. They're sort of less obtrusive, if you like, than some of the later ones that came along. So we're just going to show you it actually moving, and just prove that with a little bit of cleaning and a bit of maintenance, you can make these things run really rather nicely. Oh, I'll just like show you the front of it as well, because it's rather nice actually. It's got the front of it is quite nicely detailed. You've got nice oval buffer stops, and some of the details have been picked out in silver paint as well, which looks pretty good actually. So I'll just get this set up. There we go. Just get it moving. And this model would have been made between 1947 and 1951 in all probability, probably nearer 51, because that's when the newer British Royal Green Duchess of Montrose was introduced. So it's pretty old actually. I suppose that makes it about I don't know, 70 years old possibly, or 65, 70 years old. But it just looks fantastic, I think. You know, it's a great looking model. And I'll just leave you with these few shots, and I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.